to stop saying that, oh, it's been a while since my last video, because, you know, I feel like that is just a really common thing for people to say in their videos. So it's like an intro and stuff. But you know what? It feels weird if I don't do my intro now. It does, because I've gotten so used to it and I love doing it. So, and the inspiration behind this video is over on my blog, which has been a bit slow on my part. It has. Everywhere on all my hobbies I'm doing right now is all a bit slow, but you know, for this month and December I've been primarily focusing on old anime I have. You know, trying to watch some of the old animes I have on my shelf that I have not touched yet, and ones that I obviously have on the streaming services I'm with. So yeah, it's just going to be a bunch of old anime talk. We're throwing out the seasonal new anime. I'm still watching seasonal anime, but I'm going to be talking about less of it over this month and next month. Let's kick it off here with, I thought I wanted to talk about my favourite old anime rewatches, because I'm sure in anyone's collection, or there are just those anime that when you're feeling like crap, or you just don't know what to watch, you end up rewatching one of your favourite old series. And the ones I have picked in this, I've rewatched so many times. And before anything, I would like to give an honourable mention to Say I Love You. Currently my friend is borrowing that right now, but it would be featured in this video. But I absolutely love that series. It's one of my favourite romances. Let's get the ball rolling and talk about some old anime. I feel like there's been a lot of negative energy for the past month or so. I've noticed, like on YouTube and especially on Twitter and stuff to do with anime. I'm just like, really want to do something that's full of positivity, which is what this video is going to be involved. So, right off the bat, first one that I got here that if you've been around on my channel, watched any of my videos, heard what my anime tastes are about, I have a beloved favourite that I'm always recommending all the time. I just go absolutely goo goo gaga over. And it's no secret, it is Full Metal Panic series. Love the Full Metal Panic series. I was so excited this year when we got the season 4 of Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory. Oh my god. I loved that so much. I remember I made my video talking about my feels about it, and to say that the series is not over. It's not over yet. And one of my particular favourites in the franchise, of course, is Full Metal Panic Fumoffu, and all of the anime I'll be mentioning in this video is actually I own and is from my collection, so you're not going to see a stucky image up in the corner as usual. It's nice to show the physical thing, to be honest. And Full Metal Panic Fumoffu is my favourite anime comedy of all time. It is hilarious, it is ridiculous. If anyone doesn't know what Full Metal Panic's about, it is about a military guy named Sosuke, and he is sent to guard our main female character, Kaname, who supposedly is a target of this organization that want to pick her brain, because she, inside her subconsciousness, she knows military intel that no normal person is supposed to know about. She is known as one of what we call the Whispered. So there is an organization that wants to target her, and season 1 really focuses on that, but season 2, Full Metal Panic Fumoffu, which came out in 2003, this is like over 10 years old. This series focuses on Sosuke, because all Sosuke's life, all he's known is military everything. And this focuses on him and Kaname at school. Sosuke thinks he can solve everything with military means. So I really don't want to spoil anything, because this is only 13 episodes long, and I wish it was longer. I just wish. Just give me more silly situations that these two get themselves into, along with all the other rest of the characters, and you're just gonna have a blast with this anime. You seriously are. And highly recommend watching this in the dub, all of the whole Full Metal Panic in the dub. It is phenomenal. I have to say that's one of my favourite English dubs. All of the voice actors are amazing, especially I've always highlighted the fact of Lucy Christian as Kaname, and I forgot the other dude's name who does Sosuke. I think it's Max or Richard. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's Max, I'm pretty sure. But they just brought these characters to life for me, and the reason that I love them so much. So just, yes, if you need a laugh, and every time I rewatch this, it never fails to just still make me cack it. Like, seriously, ball over, rolling on the floor. That's how funny it is. This craziness, like, you know, men who like to give girls ponytails and they wear a horse's face mask, to let's blow up a shoe locker from where there's a love letter in it, and yet Sosuke thinks that some secret assassin put it in there and there's a bomb. Its love letter is a bomb. So that's how crazy the series gets. Next, one of my favorite rewatches is one of my favorite mecha with romance. That genre together. I just love it so much, and I have two of these in here that are my favorites and that just do it so well. One of them is Aquarion Evolve. It is from the Aquarion franchise, and this came out in 2012. Yeah, 2012. And this was my first introduction to the franchise because just 2 months ago I watched the first season of Aquarion, so I got a good idea of the backstory, because for the longest time it's been a bit confusing about the backstory of Aquarion. But if you don't know what Aquarion is about, it's set prior to this season, the second season. It's set 12,000 years, where the humans are in a war with the Shadow Angels, and they steal human life to, you know, nurture their tree of life that sustains these Shadow Angels. And a human named Sylvia and a shadow angel named Apollonius, or Apollo, they both fall in love, and then Apollonius goes against his own race, the Shadow Angels, and sides with the humans. And then it ends in, well, I wouldn't say tragedy, but Apollonius and Sylvia are reincarnated in this series that's set years later, which is our main characters Mikuno and Amata. And this series is very much along the lines when I first watched it about Gurren Lagann. It is very over the top crazy, because when 3 pilots can only pilot the Aquarion robot, and when they do, it's kind of like Food Wars, where people are, you know, gushing over Yukisoma's food or any food that's cooked. You know, it's like they become one and everybody gets naked, there's bright lights, and there's just like, they're in ecstasy. It's hilarious. And I love that about this series, that it's very wacky, and there's the over-the-top battles, and seriously, the attacks that are used are really silly. It's such a silly, fun series to get invested in, and I love the storyline, and there is a lot of meaning there is in this series to just about life in general as well, mixed in with the silliness. And I just love Aquarion Evolve so much. I really do. And I've rewatched this several times. So if you want a great balance of mecha and romance, this is definitely for you. Speaking of mecha and romance, I'm going to be mentioning another favourite on here that is, I've said is my favourite anime of all time, but it's very hard to pick. This is just one of my many favourites. It's high up there, don't worry. And this was in 1996 this came out, and of course this is The Vision of Escaflowne. I cannot really put my finger on how many times I've rewatched this series. Too many times. And it never gets old, because we have the original series, and then we have with the movie. I really want to get the version with the new dub on it, where Hitomi is played by Caitlin Glass. It sounds really good, the new dub. I love the old dub as well. And The Vision of Escaflowne has been talked about so much, I think, in the last year or so, since it got a new dub and everything. And just FYI, the movie has a completely different retelling from the original anime, but it's still very interesting and good, so I both love these. And The Vision of Escaflowne, if you've not seen this oldie series classic, it is about a girl named Hitomi who is transported to the world of Gaia, where she meets the king of Finalia, which is Vaughn, and basically follows the two on their journey, especially Vaughn trying to rebuild his kingdom of Finalia. But then there's a whole bunch of other stuff happens. And this series I love so much because it's one of those series that is more than it seems. There's so much this series handles woven in together so many different themes of war, romance, love triangle. You get to really know the characters, such detailed backgrounds. And honestly, you know, I did a video on this. I did a video on the Vision of Escaflowne, which I'll probably link down below if you're interested to check that out. Me talk about more why I felt the series was more than it seems. But yeah, Vision of Escaflowne is the best rewatch I've ever had or ever will have, to be honest. One of the best rewatches. Moving on. A series that I was surprised that I would actually fall in love with. It had the majority of the cast. It's nothing but male characters. There's the odd female one, but this series isn't talked about a lot, which is a shame. And this is a hilarious series. There's 3 seasons. It came out in 2009, and this is Kyo Karamoya of God Save Our King. Now, this series is about a guy named Yuri Shibuya who goes to save one of his fellow students from being bullied, and unfortunately he gets his head, you know, dunked down the toilet, and then down the toilet he's transported to the world, and he finds out, well, this strange world set in like medieval setting. He finds out he is known as the 27th Demon King of the Demon Tribe. So Yuri is transported basically to and from worlds, you know, balancing his Earth life with his new Demon King life. And this series is so funny. I love the dub for it. There is a lot of very eccentric personalities in this series. It has 3 seasons, a very ongoing plot. Each episode is actually really exciting, and at the same time there's just great humor involved, especially among the demon tribe, the people that Yuri gets to know. And they have these silly traditions. A strange custom in the demon tribe land is if your knife lands on the floor, it means you have challenged someone to a duel. So then Yuri and Wolfram end up in this duel, and you get to learn all about these silly traditions. I just watch this because it's so funny. And I don't care that the majority of the cast is like all male. Really doesn't matter. It is such a like fun adventure series to you know, that reminds me of my old home in England, you know, dragons, demons, sword fighting, old duels. It's a really great, I've rewatched this a few times, I have, and I really need to get the 2nd and 3rd season because it's so hard to find. So hard to find. Next one I rewatched, oh god, about as much as Escaflowne, to be honest, and I still don't know why I really love this series. It's a romance comedy. Rom-com seems to be my go-to, but it is the sequel to Please Teacher, and that is Please Twins. Now this series is about a guy named Mike. He just lives on his own, and then one day these 2 girls, which is Mina and Karu, just rock up to his house, and they all have, claiming that they're his sister, and they all have this same photo where there's 2 kids in his in the photo, and one of them can only be his sister. So they make a deal that Mike will let the 2 girls live with him, find out who is actually the stranger and who is actually his relative. So it's all about finding out who is the stranger and who is the relative. And, you know, of course, you know, this doesn't all end in somebody doesn't be happy. It's just a series that makes me happy. So happy to watch every time. And it's really funny. Especially Mina and Karin, you know, they make like these rules together to do with Mike because both of them end up falling in love with him. And it's just, honestly, it's all round great rom-com it is. But yeah, next to Full Metal Panic actually being one of my favourite comedy, this is like my ultimate favourite alongside that, which is Midori Days, and I'm so still happy looking at this box that I have it. I got it earlier this year for like $30 on eBay. It's pretty good. I wanted to own this series for such a long time. It's so good that I have it now. If you ever got a Blu-ray release, I would definitely get it. But Midori Days is, yeah, downright friggin' hilarious. It is about a guy named Seiji, who is here. He is a delinquent. He's known for his demon right hand, getting into a bunch of fights. And there is a girl that from afar that watches him, which is Midori, who's here. She's so cute. And one day, Seiji wakes up and Midori has become Seiji's right hand. And it's a very weird concept, it is, because I've told people about this anime and they're like, what? A girl becomes his right hand? But it's so funny how they have to deal with daily life for the fact that Midori has become Seiji's right hand. And obviously it doesn't last that way forever, but during the course of this 13 episode series, it's absolutely hilarious, the stupid situations they get themselves into. Midori, there's such polar opposites, you know. Seiji cannot stand Midori's like over the top cuteness. She like knits shirts for him, makes her own clothes. I mean, like, you can hear like Seiji, I love you. And watching this in the dub is even more of a treat. I always watch this in the dub because I love the person who does Midori's voice. You're like, oh, Seiji, like it's so cutesy. It makes you want to die over. It's like, cutesy, you can't take. Like, it's too much. Anytime I've been ever feeling down, this has been my go-to. And it will be even more now that I have the original box set. And lastly, for me to talk about is what a series that I've rewatched several times, and it's another comedy. And it's real, and I really never understand the concept about it, because it's supposed to have a Disney representation of the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but it's just like Snow White with the red hair, like, where is the Snow White in that as well? So we have Okami-sama and her 7 companions, and can you listen to this? This is still in the shrink wrap. I got this in a sale and I've never taken it out. When I say I've watched it several times, I mean I've watched it several times online. I have before getting this. But Okami-sama and her 7 companions is about a girl named Ryoko. She's very toughy, very tough girl, tomboy. Well, I'd say like half tomboy, because underneath she's really sweet. And she is a part of a group at her school called the Otaku Bank, which fulfill favors from the students. That they take on requests from the students that are favors, and then in return the students then have to return the favor they do. So it's, you know, like a give or take concept. Yoshi, he's very shy, very, very shy dude who has a crush on Ryoko, and you know, through the course of the show he tries to win her over, maybe slowly follow the students' requests that the Otaku Bank end up dealing with. And this is short series, 13 episodes. Again, there's a really quirky bunch of characters in this. Everyone is very individual in the Otaku Bank, but Ryoko is like one of my favorite female characters, especially when she brings out her boxing gloves, that these robotic like Neko gloves. They are so cool. This is a very cute, funny series to get into, and something very light-hearted to watch. And also, the opening theme will get stuck in your head, like it is like beyond cutesy. As I was saying about Midori Days, the opening theme really gets addictive, and I never skip it. I never skip the opening theme when I rewatch this. So, Okami-sama and your 7 companions is definitely for you if you like something light-hearted to watch. And during the course of the show, there's a narrator that speaks throughout. And that is a hilarious addition to the show as well, which makes it even funnier. And that is all of my favourite old anime rewatches. It is really hard for me to pick out of my collection, because I have so many. There's so many I've rewatched. I could have mentioned Gaiva. I could have mentioned Princess Tutu. But yeah, there's just way too many, so it's really hard to pick out of my collection. But please let me know down below. I'm gonna love to know, because we're talking about old anime. It's my jam, people. You should know it's my jam. What are some of your favorite anime you love to rewatch? Tell me how many times you've rewatched an anime. I'll be surprised if someone tells me they've rewatched their favorite anime more than 50 times, because you'll probably beat me. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and you definitely can look forward to more old anime that I'm going to be covering, because my next video I have planned is about a Gundam series I finished. Yes, so I'm excited to talk about some Gundam, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.